Okay.
Hello, Ellen. Hello, Alice.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Hi, Alice.
Hi,
Good to
Rachel.
see you.
You've been turning up the most amazing stuff. I mean, my God.
Me?
Yeah, you're like a CIA or something.
Are you talking about the videos that I've been sharing?
The different things of just in the last few, like,
Ah, thanks. I'm into something new.
well, I think we have to change the conversation somehow because whatever we're saying is, especially about Japan.
Oh, tell me
I mean,
about
that's
it.
like ridiculous
Yeah, it is really ridiculous.
to keep
Especially,
commemorating the Kibakasha and the bombing and not to talk about the hypocrisy of the government.
uh-huh. Well, the Ministry of Defense, Koizumi Jr., he's a CSIS arm, you know.
Hmm.
What
Just
CSIS?
CSIS is one of those hawkish think
Think
tanks.
tanks.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Um, Center for Security and International Studies, Georgetown University,
Right, that's it.
right-wing think tank.
Yeah.
Important,
Part of the
big
Mickey
one.
Mouse. The
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Matt, that's it.
Mad, exactly.
Actually, interestingly, they put out a nuclear news bulletin on a monthly basis. And some of the stuff in there is interesting and good, but of course they have uh, their own militaristic spin on things.
Mm,
Kind of like the bulletin of atomic scientists. Some of that stuff is very useful, and some of it's oh my God,
I
yeah.
can't believe. I think they've deteriorated the
a
bulletin.
lot.
They have. They used to be quite a bit more anti-nuclear than they are now. Yep.
I don't think Jerry Brown helped them much.
Nope. Sure didn't.
Uh, Hi, Susan.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, all right. I'm on the East Coast at the moment.
Oh, really?
Oh, welcome.
Yeah. Well, I'm not dealing with fires.
No wonder things have quieted down on the West Coast.
Right.
Gerry.
Hi, Greg.
Hello.
Good to see you.
How's it going?
Good. Um, well, I wonder, I bet we'll get a couple more people, but this is a relatively small meeting as they go.
Mhm.
But there's plenty of information to share amongst us and ideas to consider for taking action. Um, so um, I guess I'll facilitate as I often do, unless
Great.
somebody else would like to step up and facilitate today.
Nah, you were missing in action last time, so
Yeah, I know. I heard you had a really good meeting without me, though, so that was great. Uh, let's just go have a quick go around then and see how people are feeling, what they're thinking, what their most urgent nuclear concerns are. And Jim, I'm going to start with you because you're right up in my upper left-hand corner.
all right. Well, as far as nuclear concerns, I guess it's all part of the overall concerns. I mean, Trump is, you see Trump backed into a corner, and whenever I see him backed into a corner, I'm just afraid that somebody's going to convince him to drop
Yeah.
a tactical or a strategic nuclear weapon. And and then where does that go? So
Hmm.
that's that. As far as what we're doing here in and around Tennessee is, we just have our Fridays get together as far as protesting everything or being for everything good. And of course, that includes no war with Iran and, um, you know, no nuclear proliferation. And so I managed to get through that word, and so I'll pass it on to somebody else.
Okay, how about you, Peter?
Goodness. I was just trying to arrange my thoughts here. It's been a while. We
You
have
want
now,
You
I
are,
almost got a
you need,
501c3. How's my sound?
you need a couple more minutes to arrange your thoughts?
Uh, okay, if somebody can go ahead of me, it'll be better.
Sure, Rachel?
Yes, well, I finished drafting the open letter for August 2nd event, and that will be given to the, maybe they went there today, to the Consulate General of Japan to apologize dropping atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So yeah, that's done. I
We
mean,
have that on the agenda too, so we'll be talking a little bit more about that.
okay. And last night and the day before, the last few days, I've been working on the script of the VFP convention because I will be representing Okinawa and Japan. In 10 minutes, there's so many things to, press in it. So it is very difficult to squeeze in everything that I want to say, but I've been doing it. It should be done by tomorrow. And I will be driving down to Manhattan on August 2nd to attend that official gathering in front of the New York City Library. Then I'm driving upstate and then go to Buffalo, then flying to convention.
What's that gathering at in front of the library?
August 2nd, sir.
What is it?
It's about the peace vigil to say sorry to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and also we're gonna give a little nudge to government of Japan. Oh, what's about this and that, and things like that. Anyway.
All right, cool. What about you, Ellen?
Well, I'm enjoying this last year and this year both the fact that our conventions are in cities where there are high-powered, longtime members of the Alliance for Nuclear Accountability. And no, I'm not advocating that VFP join it. I wouldn't object, but it's more responsibility than I think we're up to, frankly. But ANA is terrific. It was originally just people who lived right next to the weapons facilities, as I did at the beginning of my peace activist career.
You lost your sound, Ellen.
Did you?
No, we can hear her.
I hear.
Lost. Sorry about that, Rachel.
Well, I don't have sound. Why is that?
It's on your end, Rachel.
That's
Yeah,
my
we
end.
hear
now.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, weird. Okay, I'll keep going. Sorry, Rachel. It is bigger than that now, so we could join. But like I say, it's more responsibility than I think we can carry. But it's a great organization, very wise people, been opposing these damn things long time, and two of the ANA people in Kansas City will be speaking for us at the opening plenary. So I'm
great.
excited about that.
Oh, that's good to hear. But it's pretty much a coalition, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the organizations that formed in the places where they made the bomb all over the country.
That's what I just said, Alice.
Oh, well, I don't know if he said that, so I'm just.
I said it.
I didn't hear it though, so thank you, Alice.
He asked a question, so
Maybe not. You got interrupted
I
a couple
will
of
say
times.
it again, Gerry, since you didn't hear it. The Alliance for Nuclear Accountability is over 40 years old. Initially was only people who live right next to the plants. It's bigger than that now.
Okay. Anything else? Alice?
No.
well, I'm in New York. I'm not running around much anymore, but I have this long COVID, so I'm sort of like handicapped, but I'm still on Zooms and writing and thinking. And my latest pick, which you've heard over and over again, is that we're not talking about Russia and China, and they're offering us an off-ramp for nuclear disarmament because they keep saying they can't even discuss it if we're going to have weapons in space. And they tabled a treaty. I sent you the link, Gerry. You asked for it in the Committee on Disarmament in the UN, and the U.S. refuses to discuss it. They need consensus to discuss it in the UN, and the US has been vetoing it for years, in 2008 and 2016. And on the 80th anniversary of World War II, they made a big speech again, take up our draft treaty. And we're not going to get nuclear abolition if we're going to do a trillion and a half for the Golden Dome. They even mentioned that in their 80th anniversary speech. So it's an opportunity that's laying there. I mean, maybe it sounds like it's not nuclear, but it's nuclear. I think it's an off-ramp for nuclear.
Right.
So that's my plea, that we somehow elevate it, because nobody's talking about it except me. And Jim did a radio show with me, and the Veterans of Peace did a thing. But, it's not in the New York Times.
Yeah. Well, let's add that to the agenda as well. Have a little bit more discussion about that today, because I'm kind of curious why nobody's really taking it up. And if there's somebody who is taking it up, how we can support that. Susan, what have you been up to?
Planning several anti-nuke things. Yesterday I sent out the link for a webinar that the Green Party's Peace Action Committee is doing on the 6th, on the anniversary, about nuclear abolition. And then unfortunately, I don't know how many people know that the Golden Rule had to cancel its tour up and down the West Coast, and we had planned a number of events around that, but we're going to still hold them despite no sailing ship. And so we will be showing one of the films about the Golden Rule at our local Peace and Justice Center, and then a couple days later at a larger venue we'll be showing the new documentary on Daniel Ellsberg's work to promote nuclear abolition. And then we will also be showing the Golden Rule, because they're both about half an hour, the Golden Rule film. And we'll be having music and food, and then we're going to have a discussion with Gerry and Judith Ehrlich, who is the director of An Ordinary Insanity, the film about Daniel Ellsberg. So that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, you're always doing a lot, stirring the pot all the time, Susan. Lots of great activity going in Sonoma County. That's where, if you don't know where Sonoma County is, that's a little ways north of San Francisco. And Santa Rosa, I guess, is the main city there. Greg, how about you?
Yeah, and about Sonoma County is right next to Napa County, and both of them have really good wine. So I've been kind of floundering a little bit, too much on my plate. But it looks like we're going to have an interesting. We might have an interesting Nagasaki Day at the plaza in downtown. Somebody I had never heard of, Ivana Hughes, who's I guess the president of the. Let me see if I get this right.
Nuclear Age Peace Foundation.
Yeah, Nuclear Age Peace. She's
That's
terrific.
the one. Yeah. She just happens to be in town, and so I'm going to contact her. I mean, I look at her curriculum vitae, and I'm like, wow, if I had that kind of credentials, I wouldn't talk to anybody. I'm told she's a very down-to-earth person and
Yeah, wonderful.
regular person, so I'm going to contact her and see if she wants to come and hang out at the plaza, and we'll see how that goes.
I gather you're not going to be at the convention in Kansas City then.
No, I can't go.
Yeah.
And where are you located, Greg? I didn't hear. Where is
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Okay. Great.
So now that I'm not sure, maybe Rachel knows this guy. It's a Catholic priest named Father Ito. He's either from Hiroshima or Nagasaki. I'm not sure which. And so he's going to give a talk. Well, he's done do a mass on Sunday. Um, and so we're going to probably do our thing at the plaza at 10 and then at 11 head over there. And, I'm told you don't have to be Catholic or even believe in God. He's going to, talk about nuclear weapons. So it's kind of shaping up surprisingly as little planning as I did, but just these connections are coming together. I hope it works out.
Great. Well, after you go to that anti-nuclear mass, Greg, you might decide you want to be a Catholic. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
hey Terry, what about you? Are you a former Catholic by any chance?
No, I'm a failed Presbyterian. Worse still. Um, Here in Northwest Ohio, there's no we're in a target-rich environment. If it's not data centers, it's small modular reactors. If it's not small modular reactors, it's Los Alamos wanting to contract with the University of Michigan for what they're claiming will be the greatest, best cutting-edge supercomputers on the planet to help manage the nuclear weapons program of the United States. And if it's not that, it's ruminating on the fact that it's a pretty dark time when the number one anti-proliferation move of the week was fostered by the number one genocidal power on the planet. When Israel ordered the Trump administration to undo the deal with Saudi Arabia, where the U.S. is going to provide Saudi Arabia with apparently open-ended enrichment capacity and technology. And Israel said, no, not unless they sign the Abraham Accords.
Mhm.
We're in a hell of a shape. Few people remember, but Elijah Cummings, RIP, his committee in about 2017, 18, 19, was investigating Michael Flynn. You will remember his 2 or 3 week tour as National Security Advisor in Trump 1.0. Michael Flynn, at the time he was National Security Advisor, was a lobbyist for a consortium of about 8 or 9 nuclear construction and manufacturing corporations located in the United States. And he was beating on Trump to sign a bypass executive order for Saudi Arabia to have all of this access to U.S. nuclear technology. And yet he resigns and is accused of lying to the FBI or some damn thing. What he lied to the FBI about was his role as a global nuclear lobbyist. But anyway, back to Northwest Ohio. As I said, the University of Michigan Engineering Department, which is apparently quite renowned, is in a plot with Los Alamos to construct a small, but as I said, absolutely cutting edge data farm near Ann Arbor. And that has run aground into a lot of opposition because they openly admit that the cutting edge technology will be used to manage the nation's nuclear weapons program. So it's kind of interesting. There's a kind of a bourgeois township located between Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti that is the proposed site. And the township government has written absolutely the most splendid anti-proliferation, anti-nuclear weapons statement you'll ever see from a local government. And they're fighting back. I'm in touch with them, and we're trying to convince them that we need to just mess with these people, because I have a feeling, Mr. Corning, that we might be able to forge. I understand that there may already be some help from people in New Mexico talking in the ears of the people in Ypsilanti Township, but I think we could create a real nasty cross-national embarrassment by outing this thing, in terms of media at both ends. I mean, all of the New Mexicans that can talk about the incredible flaws and failings and aspirations going on at Los Alamos. We might inject a little bit of Michael Ketterer into this, and then we can talk about why in the hell the University of Michigan, which is supposedly renowned for being such an enlightened land grant university, is dirtying itself, laying down in the gutter with these particular swine. So that's number one. Another thing that I have been involved in is there's a massive build up of data center. It's not. It's they haven't really broken ground much yet, but there's a massive 700 or 800 acre data farm slated for Piketon, which is a location of a Department of Energy facility in South Central Ohio that for years was the site of uranium enrichment, both for weapons as well as for commercial nuclear power. They are proposing to build 10 gigawatts of fracked gas turbine plants to power the data centers. The data centers will be under some sort of ill-defined contract to the Department of Energy. And we all know that the Department of Energy is, of course, the home of the National Nuclear Security Administration. So, and there already are other nuclear-related things still going on at Piketon. There's a high-assay, low-enriched uranium enrichment facility there. There is a large processing plant to try to degasify and stabilize a lot of depleted uranium gas. And there are plans to build up to 16 small modular reactors under contract. Again, this is under the auspices of the Department of Energy, and the particular technology that is under discussion for the OKLO reactors, the small modular reactors types, is molten salt, which the problem with a number of the small modular reactor designs is that their waste has some desirability for purposes of reclamation, as in gleaning plutonium and cesium, and as well as U-235 and tertiary-8. So, anything with the Department of Energy associated with it is automatically nuclear weapons first, and camouflaging nuclear power excuses second.
Okay,
So,
thanks, Gerry.
thank you.
That's quite a lot. But it's really interesting, the convergence of data centers and nuclear concerns,
Yes.
especially considering there's a pretty strong grassroots movement against the data centers in quite a few
Yep.
places, being rather successful in pushing back. So maybe we should add that to our agenda, consider how we could, as you suggest, how we might interface with that. So I got a couple more people, Jackie and then Peter, and then we'll dive into our agenda, some of which we're already addressing here. And Alice has her hand up. I'll call on you as well, Alice. Do you need to intervene right now, Alice?
I just wanted to make a point that the non-proliferation treaty requires that if you have nuclear power, you have to be subject to the IAEA, and Trump is trying to give it to Saudi Arabia
Right.
without any inspection. I mean, like totally.
Right.
And I think it's great that Israel did something good finally.
Yeah, well, for the wrong reasons, but yeah. Jackie, what do you have to share? Good to see you, by the way.
Yeah, good to see you too. So I've been busy here. The Bayview Hunters Point Superfund site is an ongoing issue here in San Francisco. We have a site that is needing to be cleaned up, and the Navy has neglected our many offers to negotiate with them. So we're actually petitioning the city to to try to urge the federal government, the in the name of the Navy, to clean up the site. And this is an ongoing issue that I've been involved with. The second thing is the pit production, and we've all gotten in our comments before the deadline to oppose the increase in pit production, but it doesn't actually end there. So we're continuing to do public education and to rally around the issue at our August 6th event at Livermore Lab. So mostly my associations with around No Nukes work hasn't been with Veterans for Peace, but more so with Tri-Valley Cares, which is a member of the Alliance for Nuclear Accountability, which Ellen mentioned in her earlier. And I wanted just to talk about that talk about the possibility of a membership in the organization. And it is a network of organizations, and I did attend the annual meeting last December in Las Vegas, and I found that it was really worth our while. However, what we would need is to have a dedicated liaison from Veterans for Peace to attend their meetings and to do the follow-up. And I'm not knowing, I don't know who would do that, who has that capacity, and also how it would actually benefit all of our work. And I think that that's what has been a question and maybe the obstacle up until now around membership. So I would like to actually make a proposal at some point to this committee of Veterans for Peace about what increase in resources we would benefit from by joining the alliance, if that's something that we would want to consider.
We can add that to our agenda for ongoing consideration. We can talk about it a little bit more today as well. Anything else, Jackie?
No, I'll just be brief about that. But I do think that we work in the committee very much like the Alliance does, in that there are people who are dealing with nuclear weapons and waste and energy all around the country, and in their respective jurisdictions. They report about and offer updates to one another, and so I think that that's what we're doing in Veterans for Peace. So I'm not opposed to what we're doing, just that wondering whether we could increase our profile as Veterans for Peace by being a part of this network, because I know that that has been the trajectory of the organization as expressed by Michael, and that is to be involved in coalition building and community building. Chuck.
All right. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks for that. Peter, we gave you plenty of time there, so I'm sure you got your outline together.
The Uranium Weapon Working Group has spawned the Ratcliffe Mobile Community Mass Spectrometry Lab, which is a mobile analysis laboratory, which has now just visited Church Rock. It provides free analysis of air, water, and soil for local communities to show what and how much and where from is the ionizing radiation and uranium dust. And also things like arsenic in the water. This is becoming wildly popular. We have a substantial funding to get started, which should carry us through this fiscal year anyway. And John Wilkes has set up, I think he's almost complete, a 501c3 so that we will be our own financial agent. We've been very much helped by the national VFP. So that's exciting. Michael Ketterer is directing the technical side of that, and which means he's driving around with this massive trailer behind him, doing a lot of hard work. But he's teaching young people. You know, he's teaching teenagers how to run a mass spectrometry analysis on a sample of potentially contaminated dirt and so on. Dr. Christopher Busby joins us occasionally and has now published, or is in the act of publishing, the European Committee on Radiation Risk. It's a book. It's actually 206 pages, which contains an actual accurate risk model for calculating the danger of radiation. The risk model in use for the past, I don't know, 60 or 80 years is terribly wrong. And according to his calculations, a staggering number of people have died needlessly. I believe the number is 500 million, but that's a number I hardly dare pronounce. But it is the data. The risk model, the campaign that he's pushing on this is that it's really about epidemiology. And so he cites the Harvard study that just showed that proximity to a nuclear site raises your risk of not just cancer, but death by, I don't know, 9-fold or something, but you can look it up. It was done in Massachusetts, and I think it even includes Vernon Yankee, which is one of the 2 nuclear plants that we got rid of here in Vermont. And I'll get to more on that in a moment. Busby also joined me in a conference I do on Wednesdays out of Tanzania, moderated by Dr. George Mutalemwa of Tanzania University. There's about 40 people from across the African continent and around the world. And Africans, I was there in 1963 and 4, going to school with my father working in the university there that year. And I can tell you that the Africans in general have caught up to, when I was there, they were doing calculus, which I'd never heard of in the 10th or 11th grade. Now they're sailing rings around American scholars. They're absolutely brilliant. And there's tremendous numbers of absolutely brilliant young people across Africa. And every time the people come and try to promote high-speed rail, the maps always show these high-speed rail lines going directly from the mineral resources to the nearest seaport. And they've seen that before. Let's see. Mazin and Jesse Kumshie.
So Peter, we don't want too long a report. I can maybe add you to the agenda if you want to give a longer report on the Uranium Working Group.
Oh, okay. Well, this is part of it. I'll wrap it up quick if I can.
Okay.
Mazin is a member of our working group. He and Jesse were just given the War Abolisher Award by World Beyond War. And another Beyond War participant just gave a talk at the Africa Peace Studies Network that I mentioned before. And I believe I can't find the note on this, but one of the speakers we had recently was in the flotilla. So this is just networking all over the
John
place.
Royer.
Sorry?
John Royer.
Yes. No, it doesn't sound like it. It was an African man, fairly elderly African man. And I have a letter to the editor on a surveillance center that they want to build on top of Vernon Yankee's nuclear waste. We have 15,000 tons of nuclear waste there, and they're offering us 50,000 more tons of nuclear waste, and suggesting that we have maybe a small reactor and maybe a data center. We'll make it community centric. So that's a pattern. And that's what I really wanted to share with you. Across the country, people who are near radioactive contamination are going to be probed by these very friendly contractors with names like Good Energy Collective and Green Data, suggesting that they do these incredibly insane things. Okay, I will shut up. I can
All
put
right, Peter. Well, I find this go around that we usually have at the beginning of our meetings to be incredibly informative and inspiring, and sometimes depressing too. But
if I may, I'll put the letter to the editor that I sent off in the.
Yeah, please do. It's worthwhile. I'll go last. I'll be very quick. Just wanted, since it was mentioned that the Golden Rule had to cancel its its California coastal voyage this year. That's true, and it's because of basically global warming. The Pacific Ocean has never been warmer at this time of year than it has been in the last month or so. There's really high winds, monster waves, and I know that's ongoing. So we had a hard time just getting out of Humboldt Bay. Finding a window to get out of that bay can be very difficult. And we only got as far as Fort Bragg, Northern California, on the Mendocino coast. And that's where we still are and probably will be stuck there for most of the summer. Told that we might not even have conditions to return back to Humboldt Bay until the end of August. So there we are. So we had to disappoint a lot of people who were organizing events for us. We went ahead with one of the events in San Diego, and we're going to go, as Susan explained, we're going to go ahead with a few of the events that they already had planned for Santa Rosa and Sevastopol. And Susan, well, the boat's not too far from you guys if you want to at least go say hello to it. I don't know if we could take you out sailing or anything. Probably not. But yeah, I saw that I got an email from a friend who's works with one of the boats that goes out of San Francisco Bay to the Farallon Islands and does nature tours and the like, and they've had to cancel all their 3 planned trips this week because it's just too rough outside of San Francisco. Yeah, so that's why we're stuck, and hopefully we will be able to go ahead next summer and next spring and summer and do the same. Definitely not this fall, because this warming is coming ahead of an El Nino, and the fall and the winter could be very hairy in lots of different ways, weather-wise. We are trying to compensate in a number of ways, including one exciting thing that we're talking to Jim Wolgamuth and Josh and others about, and VFP Radio about, taking up one of the weekly shows for the Golden Rule Hour. We will focus on nuclear issues, but also on the legacy of the Golden Rule itself. And we have very, very strong fan base of the Golden Rule. A lot of supporters are excited about the Golden Rule around the country and beyond. So we think there would probably be a fairly good audience for us to appeal to. And the VFP radio, if you don't know, Jim might want to say more. Jim and Harvey have been doing a weekly VFP radio for 10 years, 10 plus years.
Yeah, 11 plus now.
11,
Well,
okay.
you're right, 10 plus
Uh,
because we're halfway through our 11th.
So they want to slow down just a little bit. So they're going to do at least one show a month instead of once a week now. And opening Josh Shirley, who's the VFP vice president, is taking charge there and doing a couple shows. And there's room for this golden rule. We talked about it at the Golden Rule Committee last week. People were very excited about it. So it'll be a way to continue the legacy of the Golden Rule, even when the boat can't be there. So that's my news. And so let's look at the agenda that I put together, a draft agenda. We've already touched upon most of it, but we want to figure out what we want to spend our time with today, the remaining time that we have. So what I have on this agenda, I realize there's two letters going around that Rachel and Jim have brought our attention to. And we could hear a little bit about that and how we can support those letters. And one of them is to the people of Korea and Japan, and the other is to indirectly to the Pope. And then Regina Sneed is not here today, unfortunately, but she's brought our attention to the fact that the NRC is weakening radiation standards. And she thought that was something we should address. And she even suggested that might be, we should consider that as a possible action of the month to do something to address that. And that's the kind of the other thing on the agenda is the action of the month. We have access to the VFP e-news, which goes out actually several times a month. And last time I looked at it, there was a box for the Nuclear Abolition Working Group, and we should be plugging in one or two actions there every month and use these meetings to figure out what those are going to be and get started doing that on a regular basis, because that's, I think we would all agree these meetings, the no nuke meetings, have been very useful and productive in a lot of ways, sharing information among ourselves. But where we've really let down is in terms of really giving more guidance to the organization as a whole in terms of anti-nuclear actions they can engage in. So this is one way we could do that. And then finally, I had okay, there was one last thing there on my agenda, and that is, oh yeah, the convention. So, we don't have a panel per se at the convention. I was really glad to hear that there are going to be some anti-nuke speakers on the plenaries on Friday. But I just wanted to raise the possibility it's not too late if we decide we wanted to have a handout or something there at the convention. I understand that last I heard there's about 150 people registered, so not nearly as large as some of our past conventions. Probably end up being a little bit more than that. But so those are the things I have on the agenda. And then we could also talk a little bit more about the Russia-China treaty offer and the possibility of hooking up with the movement against the data centers. Anybody else have anything else or have a strong preference of what they would like to focus on? Peter?
I would like to offer the recently completed European Committee on Radiation Risk document. I have a PDF of it. I'll put it in the chat if it'll fit.
Excellent.
Based on this loosening of radiation safety standards. We think that it need to go the other way very much.
Okay, absolutely. Please do. Okay, well, let's just get started then, and some of these things won't take much time. Rachel, you want to tell us a little bit about the letter that you've been working on?
Well, before Rachel goes there, also on the agenda, I didn't hear you say this, the hypocrisy of U.S. Israeli nuclear demands on Iran, heightened risk of nuclear war.
Yeah.
We haven't discussed that, and maybe that could be the central piece of our action for the month. And we need to, I think we need to address that. And I'll defer to Rachel at this moment, but that seems to be should be the centerpiece of our work right now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I put that on there, but I think I figured it, well, we all know what that is. What to do about it is another thing. We can consider a way to address that. We have addressed that in a number of our statements. The VFP statements on the war in Iran have included statements about the hypocrisy of the U.S. and Israeli position on nuclear weapons. But maybe there's other ways that could also be addressed. So thank you for putting that back on the agenda, Jackie. So Rachel, you want to tell us about that letter?
The letter to Archbishop.
Yeah. No, well, there's two letters. If you want to talk about both of them, that's okay.
Okay, the letter to Archbishop was already translated, and Peter Kuznick, who happened to be in Japan, made it more publicly, sharing it. So I think at this point there's still.
That's a letter to whom, and what's
to Archbishop, asking for
which Archbishop?
I forgot. I'm sorry. I've been doing multiple things.
Is it
anyway,
a Japanese Archbishop or an American Archbishop?
American Archbishop, I think. Asking.
Wester?
Yeah, I think so.
That's me.
Okay, and so you want to take over, Jim?
Well, I can if you want, or does Rachel have another letter?
Then tell us about the letter to the people of Tokyo and people of Japan and
the Peter Kuznick, Professor Peter Kuznick, who co-authored with Oliver Stone, Untold History of the United States. He does annual visit to Japan, and he was also participating in some convention or something. Anyway, I was asked by Jack Gilroy to translate it into Japanese, and literally morning till very late at night, I did translate it over and over. There a lot of editing through the day until very late at night.
It was a long letter too.
Yeah. So it was done and it was shared. And now I think they want to have more endorsers. That's one. And the letter to Consulate General of Japan, it was brought to the consulate yesterday by a representative of VFP New York City chapter and other peace activists over there. And usually we have a visual together with this event. And this year is kind of irregular. They brought the letter yesterday, and we're going to do visual August 2nd in front of the New York City Library. So that's the one I'm visiting. Okay. And as you know, I am, again...
and Veterans for Peace signed on to that letter, I think, as National Veterans for Peace.
Oh, yes. Okay. Many chapters as well. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. And it's annual thing, and it's the more the merrier. Yeah. So it's nice to have a VFP's a lot of chapters and working groups names in there. Thank you so much. And I'm, as usual, I'm going to Japan again for a peace speaking tour this coming September. The speakers this year is Kelly Woodsworth, and you know Kelly. She's one of the board members. Mm-hmm. And also she used to be chaplain, which is a very unique position. So I didn't think she can do a great influence over there. And also we have a post 9/11 veteran, Benya Martinez. He is Los Angeles origin and Mexican American, and he and his family and his peers are really working hard with the ICE issue locally. So I think his particular position can have a lot of common issues with Okinawans. So I'm very excited to bring him to Okinawa and its remote islands. This year's plan is
Okay.
the longest.
Rachel,
Yes.
the Japan speaking tour is not on the agenda right now. Do you want
Oh,
to
I'm
add it?
sorry. I'm sorry.
We could add it to the agenda, but
Okay.
we're on letters. And Jim, I think, was going to tell us about the second letter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to share this. Okay. Now, can you see this
Yep.
letter to Archbishop
Okay.
John Wester?
Great.
Okay. Well, Jack Gilroy has been working on this for I don't know how long, weeks, months, but he wrote this letter. He's been on the IPC International Peace Convention conference at Variety of Fridays, and it's to Archbishop John Wester to appeal to the Pope for peace conference. It was sent already, July 24th was sent, but Jack and others are looking to get more endorsements because, like Rachel said, the more the merrier. And so here's the letter. It really goes right into nuclear, whatever what we're worried about. And I don't need to read the letter to you. I will put it in the chat, but I am hoping that the anti-nuclear abolition or the nuclear abolition working group will sign on and join. See, there's the signature from Jack, and sign on with Mike Ferner and Ray McGovern and Kathy Kelly and Ann Wright and a variety of others. Peter Kuznick that Rachel just mentioned, and Dennis Kucinich and Nick Modern. So there's a bunch of folks here. If we want to talk more about the letter, we can do that, or I can just say, okay, what do you think? Should we sign it as the No Nukes group?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
And can we sign it individually too?
Yes, you can. And I will check on how, but I'll
Thank you.
pass it on.
Because there's a lot of individuals there.
Yeah, there is.
Ivana, that you're-
There's a lot of
Kind of heavy on Catholics, I noticed. Appropriately so, since it's going to the Catholic Archbishop.
Well, Pope Francis helped us get the ban treaty.
yes, and
He was
that's
a big help.
the Pope the ban treaty is mentioned in the first paragraph. So,
Right.
and Jack tries to point out that that Pope John the 23rd put out a notification during the Cuban Missile Crisis that was actually published in Pravda and helped sway public opinion so in the Soviet Union so that Khrushchev could deal with his militaristic administration and make a deal with Kennedy. So I will put the letter in the chat just for others, and I will let Jack know that the No Nukes group is on board, and I will ask him how other individuals can also sign on, and I will pass that along to everybody here and to the whole No Nukes group, and done is done. Thanks.
Right.
Okay, great. So I think we're all in favor of signing on to that letter. It's the VFP Nuclear Abolition Working Group. I know that VFP, I don't think has a clear policy yet, but there was a little bit of discussion with Michael McPherson, our executive director, recently. And there's some question about whether working groups should be signing on to things as working groups as opposed to having the national VFP sign. Of course, getting national to act, it takes longer and sometimes doesn't happen. So I think there's a lot of utility in having working groups and chapters sign on to things, but there's also questions about the possibility of a working group having a position that's inconsistent with the position of national VFP. We don't have that issue here. I don't
No.
want to get hung up on it, but I'm just telling you
Right.
that there's that discussion going on. In the meantime, I don't think there's any problem with us signing this.
Excellent.
Yeah. Peter?
I believe that the Uranium Weapons Group may have endorsed this. We voted to endorse one of these things. Rachel may know.
Okay.
But in the process, we checked with National and got permission, as it were.
I just saw another Veterans of Peace group that signed in a different. I
Yeah,
saw it on the
there's-
list.
Oh, yeah.
So
it
A
has-
number, Tarkov, you
No,
know,
but there was a group I just saw when you were scrolling.
yeah,
Veterans of Peace.
my
Chapter.
my
We had a
chapter
formal
signed
vote on it.
on.
Right. So okay. So it's fine.
Veterans for Peace, Chapter 10, Albany. That's Jack.
Mhm.
And
All right, so that's good. So we're at
We're
about
okay.
we're almost at an hour, and we don't want to go more than an hour and a half. So let's focus on a few things here.
and I will stop sharing.
Okay.
And let us know how we can sign individually, Jim. Right.
Will do. I'll
Yeah.
be, right after it.
Thank you.
Because I did indicate to them that I would sign, but I haven't seen my name added yet. So anyway, find out what the process is there.
I think Coach Pink would want to be a signatory also as
Good
an
point.
not as an organization, not
For
necessarily
sure.
individual members.
Maybe even the Green Party. Yeah.
And Democratic Socialists of America.
Yeah.
All right.
My mayor's party.
He's a good man.
Oh, we're leading the way, New York.
Thank God somebody needs to.
So I expected Regina Sneed to share information with us about the NRC weakening radiation standards. Is anybody here familiar with that? What's going on with that? Peter?
Yes, there. It's very hard to figure out because you'll get this list of 48 things or something, and it's all full of stuff like rescinding a regulation on the design of shower heads, that were to save water and stuff like that. So my research so far has just been a maze of obfuscation. But basically, the numbers that they're giving, like the units of radiation exposure, besides being obsolete, as you'll find if you read the ECRR report, they're absolutely horrifying. They're actually proposing to allow 10 times as much radiation as is now allowed, which is already way too much.
Right. Jackie, did you have something on that?
Yes, in our newsletter, latest newsletter, the Uranium Weapons Working Group does report on the International Commission on Radiation Risk. So on page 12, there's concern expressed about determining a safe level of exposure to radiation. So I think that they're on it because in the final paragraph, they are calling on the powers to have rigorous oversight. I'm just reading from their last paragraph.
I should say that that document preceded the one that I've loaded a link to, and it's much shorter. It's an 8-pager.
Okay.
I'm pretty familiar with it because I edited it, but that doesn't necessarily mean I can remember it. But both of those are perfectly valid to distribute.
Okay.
And,
Thank you for that clarification. Yeah. But just it sounds like they're to this end, we're engaging a national and international policymakers, all relevant agencies, pro and anti-nuclear groups, and the public. Hollis Higgins, Peter Aronson, and you, Peter. Thank you for your work on that.
it's my pleasure.
All right. Well, I'm thinking about trying to focus us a little bit on action of the month. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just one thing. It could be a couple things, but maybe start out with one. But if we were going to have an action for the coming month to put in the next VFPE news, what would that be? We have a number of suggestions. One of them could, and it's good that these be kind of timely and maybe feed into campaigns that are going on or the actions that are also being taken up broadly in the anti-nuclear movement. But sometimes we might be initiating our own. And is this the NRC's consideration of they haven't actually put this into the law yet, have they? They're just studying the possibility of weakening them. Is that right?
I believe that's the case.
Yes.
It's going to take some doing because, like a lot of these orders, they don't actually have technically the right to do that. There's got to be some debate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Trump thing.
Well, if we were to call for our members to take action on this issue, what would that call be? Or would we need to do a little further research on how to direct that?
We know the holding that we always quoted was there is no safe level of radiation, period.
Mm-hmm.
That's our position. Well, let's not get complicated. They're
Mhm.
trying to say now, they're now saying low doses are okay or this much is
Right.
Our answer is no, nothing is okay.
Well, how would we intervene and where would we focus our response?
I guess if they're go ahead, Peter, you must know.
Well, I see 2 points of possible leverage. One is Chris Busby is saying that we have the evidence, and that's what it all ought to be based on, is the evidence. The other is the thing that my letter to the editor is about, is I'm seeing a pattern in which the nuclear industry is unsustainable and bankrupt and uninsurable and deadly. And just have to look at my notes to see this. They need some help, and the help that they see on the horizon is these surveillance centers, because they need so goddamn much power that they'll have to use
where this
small modular reactors,
Right.
which do not exist. And if they get one of these damn things running, the problem with those is that you put this much fission and you get this much waste, no matter what size it is. So if you use a lot of little reactors, instead of having one big mountain of toxic steaming dragon shit, you have them all over the place. And given the study that Harvard did on Massachusetts' proximity to nuclear sites and cancer death, that just means we're going to sprinkle it out. It's an equal opportunity exposure opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole thing is completely nuts, but it's all based on the fact that you can't sustain weapons without reactors. You can't sustain reactors without weapons. And now they hope to sustain both of them with the unsustainable surveillance center system, which is still now the same system as targeting families for death in Gaza.
What we need then, besides the evidence, is where to apply our efforts. Is my U.S. senator going to be of any use at all, or that's what
Probably not.
the next question.
I mean, my governor is going to do this in New York.
Alice, you had your
All
hand up,
react-
then Rachel. Alice, go ahead.
I always think of KISS like keep it simple, stupid. We should have a very simple message and put it wherever they're having a hearing. I mean, we'll figure out where they're hearing it. But that are very simple messages. Stop making it, keep it where it is, put it in the best container you can find, and watch it and guard it. That's all you can do with it when nuclear waste. And you can't make one more drop. And that's, I mean, I heard Grace Thorpe say this 20 years ago, Jim Thorpe's daughter, I mean, it's like, that's the rule. And I think we should make it simple.
What do you think, Rachel?
Well, in order to appeal to local residents, I think it is more useful to stress on the cost and environment to local people. What I've seen on one of those videos is, I think, if my memory is correct, it was about Kentucky or somewhere around there. Those who are constructing data center, in order to provide more electricity, new power plants are funded by residents' tax money, and as a result, the electricity will be provided to the data center, but the residents have to pay much more increased, expensive electricity bill. So they get financial burden, environmental impact, and health hazard after all. So I think for local people, absolutely, there's no benefit to host data center. I think that's the most appealing points.
Right, except we're talking about radiation levels, not data center. Do those two things intersect somehow?
A lot.
Yeah, maybe a lot, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, Peter, you got your hand up. You got a response?
Well, the first way they intersect is that when you construct something on top of a nuclear waste dump, you're going to stir up nanoparticles of uranium in various forms that goes straight through cell tissue from your lungs to your bones, where it now causes childhood leukemia. There are children being born with leukemia now, which is a completely new thing. The other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if I can actually do this, but there's a distinction. Somebody sent me a document generated by an AI that purported to provide a playbook for anti-nuclear action based on Linus Pauling. It basically hinted that this was Linus Pauling's method of achieving treaties and stuff like this. And it's insidious because Linus Pauling, my parents were friends of his. He didn't deploy a strategy to manipulate people into banning the bomb. He related as a human being, and he was friends with Khrushchev and Kennedy and all these people. And they kept talking to him and listening to him because of the relationship that they had. And I think that that's what we need to be doing. We need to be relating, intensely with everyone.
But Linus Pauling, the doctor, the vitamin C doctor?
Yeah, he's purported to be responsible for the partial ban on atomic weapons in 1962.
A lot of people take credit for that, including the Golden Rule.
Including the Golden Rule, yes.
Yeah, and there's a guy named Sternberg, I think. But basically,
Sternberg.
that was his big deal, and he got a Nobel Prize and all that.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking that this movement against data centers might be a place where we should be, and perhaps be a way of broadening and enlarging the anti-nuclear movement as well. But Greg and Rachel got your hands up about this.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, talking about what action to promote. So it sounds like local. It's going to be localized. Um, Look what's going to be happening in your own backyard kind of thing, as opposed to
Mhm.
pestering senators
Yeah.
or Congress people.
These movements seem to be somewhat spontaneous local organizing.
Right.
I don't know exactly, but it doesn't, I don't think they're top down. I think these are coming right from the communities that are affected.
And they're taking off. People are winning
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah. Were you
But the
considering?
standards we're talking about are federal, aren't they?
Yes, yes, that in that way.
They're
That they're
messing
saying,
around with the DOE and the NRC till nobody knows who's responsible for what. And they're lying and withholding information and covering up stuff. And it's just
Mhm.
really, it's all the same monster.
Mhm.
Nukes and data centers and
Mhm.
all that stuff. It's all interconnected. It's a complex. So you can't take one piece of it and fix it and get
Yeah.
anywhere.
Mhm.
I agree with what Peter said. And also, nuclear issue is an intersection of all different types of social issues, right? So, and if I can add to it, in Japan, after Fukushima Daiichi's explosions, uh, those who run the research among children under 18 years old at that time, their follow-up research on them, and childhood leukemia is supposed to happen usually 1 or 2 out of million people, whereas in case of Fukushima, as of now, they have a 419 thyroid leukemia case.
Wow.
Okay, so it's very, very high, and the data say so. However, they keep losing major lawsuits. It is very difficult for them to speak out, but they do not give up, and they do need more international solidarity.
Mhm.
And if you are interested in, I'm more than happy to host Zoom with them so that you can ask them questions and listen to what's going on with them. And I can do interpreter in between you, American audience and the Japanese speakers. So I'm going to Japan this year again. I can meet them, and if they are interested in participating in this kind of event, I will more than happy to organize. Just listen to what they've been going through. It's
Mhm.
Mhm.
I've
horrible.
attended one of these with Rachel, and it's really fun.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, yeah, please explore that possibility and let us know. I'm sure we'd be interested.
Oh yeah,
But
okay, good.
but it sounds like we might want to spend as much energy, time learning what's happening with the movements here in the United States, these against the data centers. So we've kind of opened up an interesting area for work here, but it's very broad, and I'm hearing lots of different uh, aspects of it being presented here. How do we focus it in terms of, or is it premature for us to come up with an ask for VIP members
Yeah.
to address this now? Maybe
Mhm.
if we're not clear on that right now, maybe we need a subcommittee to kick this around a little bit more and figure out a simple but sharp and relevant action. Peter, is that your hand up again? Yeah.
Yeah. If you will, I don't like this word ask, but I do like opening a question. My attitude is that the question is where you want to live, and looking for answers is like finding stepping stones across the maelstrom. But I think it'd be very valuable to pose the question to
Mhm.
the national organization. And the question is a pretty complex question, so we ought to spend a lot of time
Right.
formulating it.
Well,
Really, it's at the moment it's unanswerable, and people need to struggle.
there are certainly a lot of different points of pressure that we could be addressing. I mean, people, yeah, people want to have deeper discussions, But what we're talking about right now is what kind of action could we ask our members to take? Something simple that many of them would do.
Yeah.
Alice?
Yeah, the Alliance for Nuclear Accountability has been spending a lot of time, that's that network, about how they're commenting to the DOE and the AI, whatever it is, that they're trying to change all the regulations, that they're putting together comments to them that they shouldn't change, that they should keep them strict, about letting the radiation standards loose. We made it now into two-part question. Loosening the radiation standards so we can build lots of AI. In other words, we can take it in two pieces. One is just keep the standards where they are no matter what. If you want to build more AI, do it with solar and wind. Don't do it with nuclear. We don't have to, I don't know. Maybe it's good to have a little discussion group about kick it around.
Jackie?
Yes, I agree that we should have an exploratory subcommittee to firm up exactly what the question is and what the ask is. So yes, let's step forward if you want to work on that subcommittee.
Sounds good. Are you interested in that, Jackie, yourself? No? Okay. How about Peter, Alice, and Rachel?
Why don't you take the lead on it?
Well, Peter's doing it already.
Yeah.
Well, this all kind of fell into my lap thanks to Gerry and Helen, because I had met the original crew of the Golden Rule in 1958. So I'm just proceeding one day at a time. But the point of the ECRR document, which I loaded a link to, is the bottom line is that document is the evidence that takes down the entire nuclear enterprise.
Right.
That's basically the context of this. We need to take it all down.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Well, that's what we're about, abolishing nuclear weapons.
I'm happy to work with anybody on this.
Rachel, then Alice.
I would like to suggest 2 points. One is about global warming. Contributing global warming is both data center and nuclear power plants, because in order to cool down data center, they use a massive amount of water, and the warmed up water will be released to the stream, which will increase the temperature of the stream eventually, right? And so is nuclear power plants. It's 7 degrees in Celsius. They're going to elevate the temperature of water, of seawater. So that will directly contributing to the global warming. Although I think nuclear energy gangs are very strong in the PR division, so they do not spread this impact on global warming, but nuclear energy is definitely impacting on global warming. That's one point. Number 2, I think on the community level, municipality level, we can do something like this. For example, although you are not residents of the potential planned construction site of nuclear power plants, but if you are in the 50 miles radius zone, your community said no transportation of radioactive elements cannot go through our highway, period. Or if the nuclear energy company wants to build a nuclear power plant in this particular community, you must donate radiation monitoring posts in the other communities surrounding 50 miles radius. That should be legally mandatory. That means that simply building nuclear power plants come with other more expensive costs. So I think that will also put the brake on new construction of nuclear power plants. It's kind of legislative.
Again, it is a grassroots
Yeah.
based effort because I mean that's the people that you can't argue with.
Mm.
Well, I'm thinking of what Jackie put back on the agenda, and I skipped over it when I read the proposed agenda out, and that's the whole idea of nuclear hypocrisy, hypocrisy of the U.S. I mean, the two nuclear powers, imperialist, genocidal powers with nuclear weapons, going after Iran on the basis that it has nuclear weapons or that it might get a nuclear weapon someday. That's kind of hypocritical on the face of it. But of course, the war itself, and especially as it's expanding right now, could obviously raises the risks of nuclear war, just as the expanding war against Russia and Ukraine does. So this is another thing that we could address. I mean, as I said, it has been included in VFP statements against the war in Iran, but it could also be the focus for a simple action, which would be kind of a nuclear-focused request to Congress to end the war in Iran because of the nuclear hypocrisy and because of the risk of nuclear war. It would be easier for us to put a short letter / petition kind of thing together that people could then forward to their own congressperson. What we're talking about now is really interesting and so complex. It's kind of I'm having a hard time wrapping my own mind around it all, especially in terms of how to focus it in terms of action. Maybe that takes a little bit more exploration on our part. As Jackie suggested, a subcommittee, I guess I suggested that as well. So those are two areas that we could explore. For up in the first, the one around Iran is pretty simple and straightforward, and I could certainly put something together along those lines. But the other one is a little is embraces a whole lot of related issues, and a little bit more difficult to focus unless there were, obviously some hearings that are scheduled in various parts of the country that we could somehow intervene in. But we don't have that information yet, do we, Peter, in terms of hearings?
I've been responding to some things. I think Alice has been sending a lot of things about comments that you can make at various points in the process. I'm very suspicious of those setups, but we did make a difference in New Mexico with some previous such things when they started wanting to build power lines through sacred indigenous lands and around Lanol and so forth. I I think it's encouraging that they think they have to put these circuses on. I think they're also in a panic now because the data center market is tanking. And this is what you're not going to hear anywhere, but the fact is nobody wants them, and they are terribly expensive. And by the way, a data center is nothing but an enormous radiator. All you got to keep cool is the microchips. And that's what takes all that power and water. And then if you park your helicopter over one of those things, it's going to catch fire.
The SMRs aren't happening either. Well, maybe we can start out just by writing up something. Now, you see you have an 8-pager here, but, we need to somehow put this, it gets so complex, and you get so deep into the scientific aspects of it that's not really amenable to popular consumption.
Well, that's why Busby is concentrating on epidemiology, because that's simply a matter of, look, the kids went into the forest and only 3 of them came back. So what's going on in that forest?
But
babies are going over the waterfalls. So Who's
But if
throwing
we
the
could write
movies
like a
in?
2-page statement that somehow captured the main points, I think that would be a contribution. And it wouldn't be an action item, but it's certainly something we could put in the VFPE news and elsewhere.
Well, I think you need ADHD to really kind of get your head around it. The letter that I composed that I've put in the PDF there, it might be an example of, it took me 3 days. It actually took me 3 months because the newspaper has been reporting on this effort to sell this to, the old joke about, would you sleep with me for $1 million? Well, sure. Would you sleep with me for $2? No. What kind of girl do you think I am? We've already established that. That's the relationship that's going on between the DOE through its contractors and towns like Vernon that are helpless because they're presented with, let's make this a community-centric, profitable enterprise instead of a useless, uninhabitable wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
And people are voting for it. That's because it is so complex and they're not shown any of the complexity.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting on top of a dragon and they're lighting a little picnic fire to roast marshmallows,
So we're getting close to the end of our time. I see a couple outstanding issues for us to continue focusing on, and one of them obviously is this, I think it's a new question for this group to some extent, and that's the whole relationship to the data centers, which connects to the Trump administration's attempt to loosen the radiation standards. The whole question of the Russia-China treaty to ban nuclear weapons in space. The question of possibly joining Alliance for Nuclear Accountability. Those are some things for ongoing consideration, as well as another stab at focusing attention on the nuclear hypocrisy and the nuclear dangers involved with the war in Iran. That's the latter one is something that I would be interested in working on. Do we have a subcommittee that wants to explore the data center slash radiation issue? I kind of volunteered a few people, but that wasn't really fair. Rachel and Alice and Peter all seem to have a good handle on that. Are you interested in working together on coming up with something?
I feel it my duty to participate at this point.
I would try, but I just want to say I really want it simple. I do not want a big complicated thing. I mean, it's been very simple for years.
You should be in charge of the.
I'll do the first draft. It'll be 1 page.
Okay. I like the idea of keeping it simple.
So the job of this subcommittee is to find an action that we can recommend to all the
Well, not
VFP
necessarily.
membership?
I mean, that would be good if it can't.
But even like, what are we supposed to be doing about this issue? Here's the answer. Here's what you should do.
Yeah. So some action would come out of it, but more than that, it's just kind of to describe the whole situation in a way that is easily understandable by most people. And then an action, some kind of logical action should flow from that.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I would also find out what other organizations are doing and how they're addressing it. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right, good idea. Who would we talk to? I don't think the Nuclear Age Peace Foundation is necessarily addressing that at this point, but what other groups might be?
All the groups working in nuclear know the answer. There's no safe level of radiation.
Right.
Stop making more, keep it where it is, contain it, and that's it. I mean, that's the answer. There is no other answer. There's nothing you can do with it. We don't know how to do it. I mean, I say maybe, string theory says there's 10 dimensions, so keep it where it is in the best container you can get. Don't make another ounce of it. And maybe we'll find out that they said there's 10 dimensions. Maybe we'll kick it up into the 8th dimension in a few hundred years. I don't know.
We'll have to ask the people in the 8th dimension what they think.
No, I think that the natural affinity is with Stop AI uh, uh, organizations. So I would look there.
See, AI and genocide are intertwingled to the point where they're inseparable. They're as inseparable as bombs and electric power from nukes. It's not a
Right.
joke about this. I mean, this is a monster.
I think when you talk about ramifications of radiation, I think the best audience could be young mothers and the pediatrician's office. We should have some kind of handout pamphlets kind of thing that they can just leave on, those one of them, bunch of pamphlet tables at the pediatrician's office, the
Well,
waiting room.
Mm.
I actually have a brain tumor. And how did I get a brain tumor? Exposure to ionizing radiation is the
Wow.
answer.
Sorry.
Where
Have
did
you
you get
written
that
up your-
exposure, Jackie?
Have you written that up, Jackie?
Wait, what's the question, Jerry? I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Oh,
you.
I asked where you got that exposure, and Peter asked if you've written about it.
Well, ionizing radiation is from appliances, from devices,
Mhm.
and it's everywhere.
Mm.
I don't use a phone next to my ear, never have, but still. So I do have an acoustic neuroma, which is a brain tumor, but it's not cancerous. So, and it hasn't grown in about 2 years. So I don't think that it's as big of a problem, but it's not just new mothers that would be concerned about
Yeah, it's
that.
everybody.
It's everyone, yes.
I agree.
Okay. Well, we had a lot to consider today, and I'm sorry if I was unable to help us focus a little bit more. But it's a lot of great information to share, and I think we have a subcommittee that's going to be exploring and writing a little bit more about this, and we're all going to go back to doing the good work that we're doing in various fronts, and we'll meet again a month from now, which is the fourth Fridays is when we meet, and is that right? Fourth, yeah. And what will that be? What's the date in August? Anybody got a calendar in front of them?
21st.
21st will be the fourth.
No, 7/14. No, 28th.
Okay. 20th. See you on the
That's the
28th of
28th.
August. I'll see some of you at the convention. How many of you are going to be at the convention?
I can't get
Just
there.
Ellen and me. You're not going to be there either, Jim?
Neither.
A lot of people didn't get too excited about going to Kansas City or something. I mean, last year in Las Vegas, I don't know how many people we had, but I think it was more than a couple hundred. Do you know, Ellen?
Yeah, I think it was over 200. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly, but
The last I heard, there were just 150 people registered for this. I think there'll be more than that show up at the convention, but
and about
still,
75 for the online part. So,
okay, yeah. Oh,
there will
right.
be over 200 participating, but not physically.
Oh, okay. So there'll be over 200, including the online participation. So
Yep.
remember that you can attend the workshops online. There's still a registration fee, although it's less than the in-person one,
Yeah.
I believe. Alice, you got something
Yeah,
more?
can you email the chat? Because there's a lot of good references in there.
Actually, I was going to just say, Alice, that you can save the chat. So you go
I
to,
don't know how.
yeah, I'm telling you. So
Don't
you,
tell me. Email it to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
But I'll send it out, Alice.
and I know how to save the chat, but my new computer refuses to do it.
Okay.
And
So,
I always
I've
get
saved it.
I
can
really
send it to
appreciate it.
everybody.
Jim, you're going to send that out along with the recording?
Yep.
And then, and could I say one other thing on this China-Russia thing? Please think about it. How do we stop demonizing them and take them up on their offer?
Mhm.
If they're full of shit, we'll know,
Mhm.
but at least talk about it.
Yeah, I agree.
My
I wanna-
It's
email
not
is in the
trustworthy.
chat.
It's the United States. It's not trustworthy. And I
Right.
have to convince everybody of that.
You know, I said to Bill Hartung, he's a friend, he writes these great articles about the mill. I said, Bill, why aren't you writing about it? He says, nobody trusts Russia.
Yeah.
I said, it
that's-
has nothing to do with trust.
Yeah.
We'll know right away if they're not legit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But to ignore it completely, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, nobody trusts the United States is what it comes
That's
down to
another
for
story.
now. And anyway, we're up against a lot. So I don't know about you all, but I feel a little overwhelmed lately, and it can
It
sometimes
is.
some days I feel like in paralysis because there's just so much to deal with, and there's more bad news every day. So
And the phone isn't working.
yeah, but we got to hang in there together and make the best of it. So
Yep.
Well,
let's
just
keep on
imagine if
keeping on.
imagine if you weren't here. I mean, then it would really be bad.
Yeah. So
My email is in the chat, by the way.
it's great seeing you all, and
Yep.
thanks for all you're doing. Rachel, have a great trip to Japan.
Thank you so much. No nuke. Peace.
Okay. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.